Hello everyone. I have a toy. Let's review this toy. I'm Troublesome Junction. I'm bringing you the Tomy Sonic the Hedgehog Ultimate Exclusive figure. Now this figure was something I needed for my Sonic the Hedgehog collection because I am definitely a Sonic the Hedgehog collector, and it has had a very huge impact on my world of gaming. Well, actually, I'd even go as far to say as it has had more of an effect than Mario. Shh, don't tell anyone about that, though. But yeah, I saw this in stores and online, and I told myself I need this for my collection because I just recently started getting back into collecting Sonic the Hedgehog. So I said, why not get what's considered to be the best Sonic the Hedgehog figure out there? So as you can see, I bought this from GameStop for $29.99. And speaking of GameStop, this is a GameStop exclusive. As I mentioned earlier, it is an exclusive item. It's exclusive to GameStop for $29.99. I had quite an interesting experience buying this. I walked into the store, I asked the man, he asked me, hey, do you need help finding anything? And I said, oh, I'm looking for the Sonic figure. Couldn't find it on there, so we were looking in there for about maybe 5-10 minutes, and it was sitting literally right next to the counter. And then we both had a good laugh about it. Really, really great people down at GameStop. I'd recommend if you're looking for something, definitely. You got a lot of good people at GameStop to talk to. Maybe not all the time, but most of my experiences are good. So, in the packaging, you can see it's Sonic the Hedgehog. Comes with a yellow ring, a chili dog. Only true fans gonna understand that reference of what that is. In the back of the box now, it is torn up here, and it's not because of me. That was actually how it was in stores, strangely enough. So right here it says, Sonic is steadfast, sincere, and all about speed. He is intuitive, spontaneous, and quick-witted. On top of all, Sonic cuts a dashing physique, and his charisma is electric. Now, I believe that is the same for the Sonic figures for the ones that come with the Archie comics. The Sonic figure, Sonic and Knuckles figures, I believe that this is a copy and paste of the same one from the Sonic one. I'm not sure. If you know your Sonic stuff, comment down below if you know about that. On the back, you have this nice illustration of Sonic the Hedgehog and his 8-bit sprites. And then it supports this very nice packaging, very similar to the Sonic Boom packaging that they had, and very similar, just their whole Sonic line supports this sort of pixely design for the outside. Up there is the classic Sonic the Hedgehog logo. And the figure itself is actually not based upon the Sonic Gen Sonic, but the actual classic Sonic, which is really good. So I'm going to open this from the bottom just because, well, of course I do not want to, damage this packaging from the top more than it already is. Cough, cough. Just gonna be really careful with this. Gotta get, oh, it's a little flap, so I'm gonna have to go like this. And cut right there. Cut. Gotta get those shots. Cut. And one last one here. Cut. So now, opening this, removing these tabs. Tab packagings are always good if they're implemented just right. Because then you got like some of them that they're the tabs, but then they fold over into themselves. So it's sort of like the Funko figures. Pop figures, they have the little tab folded inward more, so it has a chance of ripping. I got some instruction booklets. This is going to be really helpful. We'll actually go over this real quick. Has 4 different eye expressions, 4 different hand expressions, the ring, chili dog, base plate, which opens to store set accessories, and then 4 muzzles. And it tells you how to apply them all here. Simple as that. And then it's very reminiscent of the SH Figure Arts and the, I can't think of what it's called. It's like the Netatoy, I believe. It's Netatoy, or I can't think of the name right now. Very similar to their Sonic, which was really, really good. So this has these keyholes at the bottom of it. There was a YouTuber I watched one time who didn't quite know how these things worked, and he was just spinning them and spinning them because he thought that they were like screws, and I was like, dude. But those, I like those a lot better than screws, because when, you know, it's kind of a pain to go through. Here's the background. It's really nice. Has a nice, I believe this is a Green Hill Zone. Nice sleek base plate with plastic laminating it. So I'm going to put that to the side. I can feel all the accessories rattling around in there. And then Sonic himself, got to be very, very careful when I'm cutting him out. I'm not going to look through camera. So if I get something that's not on shot, that's because I don't want to damage this beautiful figure. I'm not going to, just got to be very careful. Cut that. These things, I don't like them. Rubber bands when they hold in a toy bother me. Back when my Bowser Jr. video with when my factory error one, I opened it because I didn't realize it was a factory error. I ended up pulling on these so hard that they ended up breaking part of the plastic. And ever since then, I've hated these little rubber band things. Now these are also present on the Sonic Boom figures, like the 2-pack. I recently bought the Metal Sonic one with that came with like a spacesuit Sonic type deal. Okay, so then the muzzle part. Oh, this part comes up too. They really did take good care to their packaging to make sure that it didn't get damaged. It's really, really good on Tomy's part. But then when it comes to people like me who like to get the boxing shots, it's very, very difficult. Pulling that up, pulling this figure out. Oh, it has that nice feeling plastic. Oh, there's one more little strand. Pulling his foot in, but I'll just pull him out ever so gently. Big quotes on that. So now I'm just going to slip this back into the box because I do like to keep my packaging. And I'll just slide that over there for right now. Move this knife clear out of the way so I don't damage anything. So, whoa, don't want anything falling over like one of my other videos that I made. I believe it was the Luigi Mansion figure. So, here's the figure itself. And might I say, it is gorgeous. This figure is pretty much what we've needed for a very well articulated figure. I would definitely compare this to SH Figure Arts. Albeit this thing it has that weird vinyl-ish texture to it. I don't know how to describe it, but it feels very, very light in the hands. It doesn't have a solid feeling. So then the muzzle comes off, the eyes come off, and then you're left with this scarring image of Sonic without any of that. I'll go into more detail about that. Here's articulation in the hip area right here, wiggles back and forth, because a problem with the other articulated line that had hip articulation, which was the Jazwares line, pull this figure out, their line had it so you could rotate it at the waist, but on their Sonic figure, it cut into the sculpt. So they had a way of getting around that. They simply made it attached to the upper torso. So this figure, very, very similar to the SH Figure Arts, has articulation in the foot area, so you can maybe put him in like a running pose. Can't really rotate the foot. Maybe I could if I were to actually try. Has nice articulation in the upper leg area near the hips. Arms, of course, gotta have that wrist rotation, because you can get that, obviously, if you're going to have it so you can take these out and interchange them. So, elbow articulation sort of looks weird because it's just hanging there, but at the same time it is pretty accurate to classic Sonic's design. Quite glad that they went for this design rather than the Generations design, because it's very, you know, nostalgic feeling for me, because I have very fond memories of playing this on the port on the Xbox 360, classic Sonic the Hedgehog, and it was just amazing. Has very, very, I love this. Articulation is a ball joint on the neck. so he can move his head all around and not just in a circle. Tomy, if you could just do this like Jazwares, which I absolutely loved, do this like them for your 3-inch figure line, and you have a market right there. You have fans instantly brought back. I'd love to see a Knuckles one of these. So you saw the articulation. So now let's talk about the figure itself. It supports a nice bright blue for the classic Sonic look. Has tan for his arms, muzzle, and torso. White for the gloves and around the sock area. Nice little buckle here for the shoe. Has a little bit of a overspray right there. But I mean, you know, Tomy's figures, they're not going to all be perfect, but the quality control on this is definitely, it's pretty perfect. Got a few things like seams right there for when, like mold release and bit of flash. But you won't really, you probably won't even notice that, to be fair. And these things aren't like the Jazwares line where you can move it one way. I will just set this down. Where you can move the articulated parts one way, but not the other. You can move these parts both ways. So if you want to, I don't know, have it so it's like this, or even this, I don't know what you're into, whatever you're into, this figure can more than likely do it. Now, most of you might know from my past videos, I am all about articulation. I love expression in my action figures. This toy definitely delivers. Now, there is a hole back here, but I'll explain what that is for later. Then you'll definitely get the SH Figure Arts vibes from this. So that's all I have to say about the figure. It's an amazing figure. The sculpt is pretty much perfect to classic Sonic. Albeit the joints don't feel very stiff. They feel sort of loose-ish. Not as bad as Jazwares, though, where theirs were like practically noodles. So I'm just going to set this out of the way. And now let's talk about the base. This part opens up to reveal accessories. Yay! I'll demonstrate what they do. Albeit, I'm going to go through every single one of them and what they do. But I'm not going to interchange every single one because that'd be pretty redundant. So, I'll go over the eyes first. So, of course you have eyes looking in this direction, straight ahead. Then you have some looking to the right. And you have some looking to the left. Then you have these ones, which I really quite like. They are looking like they have these squinted eyes. Kind of weird because that he doesn't have eyelids over them. Kind of reminds me of the Cuphead in the end. So that's all of the eye expressions, and I'll actually explain why this eye piece is like that, of why they added it. Now for the muzzles, you have the one on the figure, which is the smug sort of smile, the classic Sonic. Then you have one that's wide open, one that is frowning, right there, and then you have an open mouth expression. Now, I'm going to say this real quick, of why they added the squinting eye expression. That's because it goes with this, and it's supposed to be reminiscent of the Laughing Sonic artwork. The classic, well, of course the classic Sonic artwork, and he has this expression with one of the fingers pointing out, sort of like, ah, yeah, good one, you know, sort of like that. That is why this expression is here. You could also use it with the shocked mouth to get the effect that he's been hit, which is more than likely what I'm going to use for when I display this, because I'm going to have him look like he's been hit and he dropped the ring. So, here are his hands. He has two of them that are in the sort of iconic pointing, and then on the figure itself you have fists, open hands, two of those, of course, and then two of them to hold the chili dog and ring. They have a gripping sort of thing. Well, this one, it can sort of hold the chili dog, but it's more for holding the ring itself, as seen here. So now I'm going to put all these back into their thing and go over the accessories. So this is just your standard ring, albeit it isn't gold, it's just yellow, but oh well, I guess, whatever. I would have much preferred it to be gold, but you know. Has a little peg here, I'll still go over why that is later. It's pretty much, that is what it is. It is just a standard ring. Now the chili dog. Tomy, you sly dogs, you. They included a chili dog. They're definitely expanding on the chili dog merchandise for Sonic the Hedgehog now. This nods to you, Tomy. Nods to you. So it's just your standard chili dog. You got what looks like cheese, a couple things of relish, specks look like chili flakes or peppers, chili, and then the actual hot dog itself. And then here's what they key into. This is for the ring, of course, right here. Now this, if you're not getting SH Figure Arts vibes or Netoroid vibes from this, you must be on some sort of drug. Because it also comes with one of these, which was seen with the Mario figure in SH Figure Arts. So you could definitely see of where they got the inspiration from. Definitely really, really clever design choice there for getting this. And why we have these is because on the base plate itself, these things key in to the base plate. They key in here, 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 and here. So I'm just going to throw the ring on it right now. And then they plug into place like that. Sonic, of course, has the hole in the back of him where you plug this in right here. And you could just put him into any sort of pose you want. And yes, this thing is strong enough to support Sonic in any way. So if you want him upside down, the base will support. In fact, I'll just put him on the base right now. Pan the camera down. And yeah, it's supporting him all right. So there's definitely that. And then when you're done with your other accessories, you put them into this right here, which I'm going to do, except for two of the expressions, because there's one pose that I would love to get Sonic in, just to demonstrate how amazing these things are. Taking off the one that was supplied by the factory, putting on his, I believe the eyes go first and then the muzzle, because it has like a weird key sort of effect. Yeah, I wanted to put him in this pose. The moment that I saw one of my favorite YouTubers, I believe it's like MacPack or something along those lines. I can't think of it right now. But yeah, he put him into this pose of him. Looks like he's getting hit by an enemy, and then he's going into the oof sort of, face. So I'm going to pan the camera down to show how you apply the hands. So what you do is you just give him a little bit of a twist. The little, what are these things be called? Little ends of the gloves themselves, they do not come off. They are like sort of held on. So you don't have to worry about that. So then you could get him with his open hands, slide that on here. It does take a bit of force to put it on, but you should be fine, to be honest. It's very, very, very expressive. I want to show this whole process. Just takes a bit of, maybe a bit of twisting, turning, and a bit of pressure. Put his arms out in the air. Then this one over here comes off. And rinse and repeat. The moment that I saw this thing, this is one of the expressions I wanted to put him in, was his, ow, I got hit expression. So, posing this, panning the camera back, and there's Toby in the background, right there. Putting his legs in the air. Very, very easy to pose, I will say that. I love this figure so much. Definitely one of my favorite. This is probably my favorite articulated action figure. Probably even beats the SH Figure Arts Mario that I own. And I love that thing to bits. But this is just so expressive that how could you, go by it. So, putting Sonic into this sort of expression and he's dropping the ring. I've really wanted to do that for the longest time. Gotta scratch that off the bucket list. So, what do I think of this figure? This figure, solid, 15 out of 10. Probably a troublesome junction first that I'm this in love with a toy. The expressions, the posability, the accuracy, and the chili dog. This figure is a totally recommend for any Sonic collector. That only being if you're a younger fan and you play with it a lot, I'd be careful. But if you really like an expressive toy, I couldn't recommend this more. And then for the price point, $30 for what is roughly a 6-inch figure. I want to get this so it's all in shot. For roughly a 6-inch figure, that is amazing. And then the Jazwares line. What do I think about this compared to this? Albeit I love the 3-inch figure line. I think it's amazing. But this just has a bit more to offer, but these are definitely wouldn't be as good, but definitely up there. Now, I did do a review on this compared to the Tomy toys, but the video was just awful. I'm never going to upload that. Sorry for any of you Troublesome Junction fans who actually would have anticipated that. Just, it wasn't up to a good quality at all. So, this figure right here, if you're a true Sonic fan or just a collector like myself, get this. I consider this to be one of the best Sonic the Hedgehog toys ever out there. Worth the buy, 100%. Keep in mind it is a GameStop exclusive, and in the area that I live, this was not easy to find. This was the last one out of pretty much the lower half of my state. Amazing buy, and I'm really quite fortunate to have this. So that's all I have to say for this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Troublesome Junction channel. Comment down below because I do read and respond to comments, especially questions if you have them. So that's all I have to say, and I'll see you guys on the flip side.